So I've been holding off on updating you guys about this because I wanted to give you good news. I wanted there to be good news at the end of it because like sometimes I update you guys about bad news and it's just bad news, bad news, bad news before there's good news. And I can't hold it in anymore. This is about Coffee. We have a black cat named Coffee. I guess the whole story is like we wanted to adopt 2 cats and we saw Bailey's listing first. If you see her, she's like the cutest, prettiest kitty ever. And we were like, hi, does she have a friend? Does she have a friend? And that was Coffee. And then he turned out to be like this is sounding like he died. He's alive. He's alive and well. He's not doing well, but he's alive. Coffee's alive. And Marceline is trying to use me to get onto the couch. I knew there was gonna be chaos because of the baby, and I had to put you guys all the way over there because she wouldn't try to get it. Okay, so Coffee just ended up being our little diamond in the rough because he's just like such a little cutie, a little goofball. Lovely little cat. He's not doing well right now. We had noticed that he would go into the litter box and then just sit there for a long time and nothing, like to pee, and like there's nothing going on. And so I was worried that that the worms had come back. If you remember, like a year ago, my cats had worms. We think they had it since they were babies because they were like found on the streets. So I was worried that he was trying to poop and he had worms again. But no, that was not the case. No worms. So I was like, oh, like he just must be going through a thing. I thought he was trying to like be an alpha cat and like try to pee on top of his sister's pee, you know, that sort of thing. That's just a thing with cats that like boys need to be the alpha cat or something. I don't know. So that was a couple weeks ago, and then led up to this past weekend, like the weekend after Thanksgiving, Christian was home from work. He wasn't working. So we were home a lot, and so we got to realize how much he was actually spending in the litter box, and it was a lot. It was a long time. He didn't seem to be in pain. He was just sitting there for a long time using that litter box. So it wasn't until Sunday, like the end of that weekend, it was like, okay, we need to call the vet. This is like not normal, how much he's doing it. So Sunday, it was like, okay, we need to call the vet situation, but they're closed Sundays. Of course they are. So Monday morning on the dot, I call them and I tell them the whole situation, like, oh, he's using the litter box a long time. And so they asked, like, is he actually peeing? And I was like, yeah, as far as I can tell, like there's like something happening. And is he in pain? Like that sort of thing. They're asking those kind of questions. So those are the kind of questions that they were asking. And they're like, oh, you bring him in noon today? And I was like, I was shocked because the cats had worms, they couldn't see them for weeks because that's like how booked they are and like how little of a problem worms are apparently. But I say, oh, he's having trouble peeing or he's like in the litter box for a long time, and suddenly, oh, can you see him today in a couple hours? I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'll bring him in. It must be a big deal. And so yeah, apparently with boy cats, it is very common for them to develop bladder crystals. I mean, sort of like human men as well. It becomes a big problem when they're trying to pass one and they cannot. And it's like really troubling for them. That's what they thought it was. And so they brought us in that day. We had to have somebody watch her emergencyly. My parents weren't doing anything that day, so they watched her. And Christian and I brought Coffee in. They did a physical exam on him to check on his bladder, because if it was full, then that means he was trying to pass, a crystal, and he was struggling to. But no, his bladder was empty. They did an ultrasound, and they got him to pee a little, and from the ultrasound, they thought they could see crystals. So then they did an x-ray, and sure enough, through the x-ray, they could see he had little crystals in his bladder. But they couldn't tell what type of crystals he had unless they did like a urine sample and sent it to a lab to figure out like, oh, is it the kind of crystals that can dissolve over time? If so, if he's not in it any pain right now, then we can just give him a special diet, and like over time the crystals will dissolve, and we're gonna bring him back in and they'll check him, you know, in a month or so. So that was Monday. This is Thursday now. I have given him, they also prescribed him a laxative because he looked a little constipated in the x-ray. So maybe that'll help him get things moving. I sent in the prescription for his food, like the fancy urine food. I say that because I think it says urine on it, like the type of food, it says urine. But no, it's supposed to be just food that has like extra water in it, so that when it helps his bladder and stuff. That's it. So I sent the prescription for that. I still need to pick it up. I think you have to tell me where I can pick it up. I don't know how prescriptions work. I've never needed a prescription before, let alone a prescription for one of my animals, like a reoccurring one. Yeah, so that was Monday. That's what we've done this week. And he's been eating, but this morning at 7, when Marceline decides to wake me up today, Coffee's in the room with us because Christian closed him in there with us, and he is not doing good. He was crying, like just letting out the saddest of meows that I've like ever heard from him, and he's like such a little happy guy. It's like Bailey who's like the scaredy cat, and but like Coffee's like just like such a like little ray of sunshine with like anybody who comes over. Yeah, he's just crying real sad, and even when I like opened the door to let him out of the bedroom, he like just went into a corner of the bedroom and was just letting out the saddest little cries. So I tried to see if he would eat something. That's all they said to do, that like food and like the water in the food over time will help him pass these things, but he just sounded so much in pain. And so after he wouldn't eat his food, he started like growling at me like that. It sounded exactly like that. I called the vet immediately, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like he's like, just suddenly today he's in a lot of pain, basically everything I just told you. And then they asked like, oh, when was the last time you saw him like pee? And I don't know, like I slept last night. I for sure saw him pee yesterday, but I can't remember exactly what time, because like every once in a while I'll check in on him. Probably could have like started passing it last night, and I didn't notice until this morning when I woke up and he started like meowing at me, because I was like checking out on him. Because like every time I go to see him, like wherever he's hiding away at the time since then, because he's like keeps moving around where he wants to hide right now, he's like sad meowing and growling at me. Said they wanted to see him again today at noon to do the same exam again to see if he has like a crystal lodged somewhere, which I think he does, because he sounds like he's in a lot of pain. Until then, I could run by before the 12 o'clock appointment, because it's pretty early now, and pick up a little like pain reliever, like basically a sedative for him, so that he can relax and he's not in pain. It should make the exam at noon go smoother if he's not like in a bunch of pain. So I was like, yes, I'll do that, because like he sounds like he's in a lot of pain right now, and I can't even imagine, because with cats they hide their pain for so long, they hide it for so well, so by the time they actually tell you that they're in pain, they must be in a lot of pain. And so like I know this, I try my best to keep an eye on them, but with the baby now, like my attention is divided, and so I don't know what I could have done more so the past like 3-4 days that I have. Maybe I should have been monitoring him more. I don't know. But all I know is that I feel so bad for him now. So I called my husband, and he's coming home from work because my parents are busy. Normally I think I would go drop her off over there. Every time I hear it, I can't. He's in so much pain. And so I wanted to update you guys. I think on Monday with that appointment. Oh, did I even say that they saw crystals in his bladder, and they said that it's the kind, and we found out Tuesday that it's the kind that can dissolve over time. Okay, he's in the litter box now, so I'm gonna keep an eye on him. So on Tuesday we found out that the test it came back that this is the kind that can dissolve over time. Still there, but there was a possibility that he was gonna have crystals that could not be dissolved, and they would have to do surgery to remove them because they just cannot be dissolved over time. So they would just stay there forever, and eventually he would have to pass one and be in a bunch of pain, kind of like how he is right now. I feel so bad for him. He's in so much pain. He just sounds like he's in so much pain. Okay, he's burying it, so I assume he did something. I guess if he squats again, then he's... There's nothing I can do now. He has the vet appointment at noon. So I wanted to tell you guys when he had good news, but we're gonna have to take him to the vet today. And Christian just went right now. He left work and went to go pick up the sedative for him. So as soon as he gets back, we're gonna give it to him. And hopefully he won't be in so much pain. He'll be a little loopy little guy. And then I'll do whatever I can to help him out. Just that Monday visit alone costs like almost $700. And then the sedative is gonna be another $100. And then I'm guessing this appointment's gonna be another $600. Here it goes. So hopefully I won't be telling you guys he needs surgery. Hopefully they'll be able to get him, because I think he's passing one right now, and hopefully they'll be able to get him to pass it. Otherwise I have to do surgery, and he's gonna have to recover from that. But whatever makes him not in so much pain, because he's only 2, guys. He's only 2 years old. He's not even that old. And I thought I'd be giving them, they get wet food 3 times a day with a little bit of dry food sprinkled in, and they drink their water fountain. I think I'm going to get him a new water fountain, and I mean, he's already going to have to get his fancy new food. I'm going to do everything to make him feel better. It's like Bailey's looking at my next. Yeah. It's such a rare, gloomy day out that it feels very appropriate to how I've been feeling and what is going on. So I took him to the vet, and the good news is that they were able to remove the stone using the catheter method. It wasn't so big that they had to do it surgically, which is great. So he's no longer in pain anymore. But the bad news is that they have to keep him overnight, like 48 hours. So it's Thursday, and they said that they're gonna keep him till Saturday over there at the little hospital overnight as well, which is not very good, not the best. But hey, he's not in pain anymore. He's getting fluids, and he has the catheter in so that he can, give his bladder a rest, because yeah, it was full. He did have a stone in there. I mean, we knew it, like everything was showing that he had a stone stuck up there, and because he couldn't pee all morning, and he was in so much pain. Like those cries, literally, oh my gosh, broke my heart. And Christian too, as soon as he heard them, he was devastated as well as I was. So it really broke me to leave him at the hospital, and I drove home, and I can't remember the last time I've cried this much. I cannot. Maybe, I assume Marceline's her 4-month sleep regression, that was a pretty dark time where she just would not sleep during the day, and nighttime wasn't the best either. And I felt really broken because I didn't know what to do. And in this case, I feel a little broken because, yeah, he was just in so much pain, and you feel like you do everything for your kitties. This stuff still just happens because, yeah, everything just happens so fast. Like Monday, we finally took him in, and Tuesday we found out that those crystals can dissolve, like they're capable of dissolving. Wednesday I filed the prescription, and then Thursday all of this craziness happened. So I'm trying to beat myself up about it. Like, oh, what if we gave him his prescription food like immediately? Like, what if Tuesday, as soon as I got the call, I just ran over there and I got the food? Would 2 days of his new food have prevented this crystal from getting stuck, you know, in his, you know, little tube? I doubt it, because I feel like 2 days is like nothing. Like, to just like, it would take like, I feel like it would take like a month, you know, for these crystals to drastically dissolve. I mean, it's a crystal. Surely those things take time, right? Even though it's like inside of his body, like, and as much as we can give him food with a lot of water in it, you know, he still has to eat the food, and he still has to drink water and, you know, pee it out. I'm trying to tell myself that like those 2 days difference, I did the best that I could. I mean, I think I was telling the vet this, I think I relaxed too much after we found out that his crystals can be dissolved, and I let my guard down and I wasn't watching him as best as I could. He did not seem to be that much better, but he was still eating these past, you know, few days, and he was like more or less the same. And then it wasn't until this morning that it was just like, you could tell he had one officially stuck. But I think from what they're able to tell from his blood work and from, you know, the whole catheter process, that it probably did start getting stuck last night, which, you know, we were asleep either last night or like early this morning, I assume, because his blood work was still good, and it wasn't like something about some cats can like get that thing stuck in there for days, and people don't take their vets in like immediately. Maybe they hide it much better than Coffee was doing it, because he was very upset. And then, so yeah, imagine being a little kitty and you haven't peed in like a full day. Like, oh my gosh, that would be awful. So I think we caught it fairly quickly. Like, literally we couldn't have called the vet any quicker and brought him in. I think from when it did get stuck, which was like last night, then I think we did it as quickly as we possibly could. But he was like still in so much pain. Oh, but he should be good now. It's no longer stuck in there, but he is at the hospital, and they did so Saturday. So they'll check him, you know, they keep giving fluids and relax his bladder, and they'll check him all the way up until Saturday. And on Saturday, they'll take the catheter out, and as soon as he pees on his own, like in a litter box, they'll call us up to come get him. The vet did talk about the possibility of still doing surgery on him to just open him up and get all those crystals out, so that we know there's no crystals in there, and then from here on out, we'll give him the special food to help prevent, you know, crystals from forming. It's not like it's a cure-all, like he could still develop crystals like over time. And if we don't do the surgery, you know, we're just like hoping that the food does work over time, and that another crystal doesn't get stuck, you know, in his pee-pee, and we have to bring them back in for them to do the same catheter thing again. So it's like a toss-up. It's like, how much are you willing to like risk that this doesn't happen again for him? And then she even talked about like a whole nother surgery where it's like you cover all your bases and you make sure that he does not have this problem at all, which is by basically making him a girl cat and just removing his, you know, little manhood down there entirely. So he just has like a opening, like a hole to just pee from. So there's no chance that, you know, a stone could get stuck in his little, you know, wee-wee. But yeah, that way he won't have this problem ever again. But it is very like fancy, and we have to go to a whole different hospital with a whole different doctor for them to do that surgery. But that is a possibility. Doubt we'll go that far, because all of this already, like him staying these 2 nights at the hospital, is costing us at least $2,100. And then on top of the $650 that we paid for Monday to do the x-ray, the ultrasound, the checkup, and his food prescription, I think that counts as well. Actually, I think the food might be on top of all of this. Because like we have to get his prescription food and keep getting it over time forever, essentially. So it's already so much. So I don't want to do surgery, but they did you know, make it seem like a good idea to just get the crystals out of there so he doesn't have this problem again. I don't know what to think. I've just been crying, like, basically all day. I was crying when he was upset. I cried when I left him at the vet, and I finally just got lunch. You know, it's like pretty late, and I finally ate something. So I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but like my eyes are so puffy, and I like want to take a nap, but we still have the baby to take care of, so I can't like just like I can't completely shut down because we still have the baby. But yeah, that's the update. We'll figure out what we want to do, and hopefully next time I update you, he'll be back here. Oh, I can't wait to have him back home. Just because, like, well, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what's going on. All he knows is that his little wee hurts, and he's in a bunch of pain, and we keep taking him back to this vet, and they knocked him out. Now his wee hurts. Now his wee doesn't hurt as much. It's like healing, but he has like a catheter in it, and he's like stuck there at that hospital. He doesn't know where he is. He's literally only ever been here with us. With someone that he knows. I just feel so bad for him, but I think I better go, and hopefully next time you see me, he'll be back home. Oh, I can't wait to have him back home.
At your home, buddy.
Is he purring?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it from here. Oh.
What you got? Oh, yeah?
Hello, checking in super quick. I'm like feeding the cats like a little meal right now before I leave. My parents have Marceline, so I'm gonna go hang out with them, make some cookies. It's gonna be great. But I want to give an update on how Coffee's doing. So he's been home from the vet. Oh, I think it was a week ago today that he went to the vet hospital, and then he was there for 2 days, and I was, yeah, just such a mess, but he's doing so much better now. One thing I'm doing that's like super helping him get better is like every time he asks for food, I'm just feeding him. Like I'm just giving him food. Every time he's like, hey, can I have some? I'm like, yes. Because the vet tech on the phone, she made a really good analogy saying that that food is basically medicine for him. So he needs to eat, you know, take his medicine, and in order to flush out the, you know, the crystals, or like have them dissolve over time. I like to think that, okay, he really cannot have too much food. Like this is literally the best stuff for him, is to feed him some food, and if every time he asks, I'm gonna give him some, and then that's how he's gonna get better, how he's gonna pee out more fluids. And I'm only putting wet food in these bowls, only wet food. Bailey is getting dry food because she's fine. Yeah, so she's getting more meals a day because he is asking for food about 4 times a day now. I mean, it's only been a couple days since I've like started to do this because I was still concerned about him. He's using the litter box like still a whole bunch, still peeing as far as I can tell. Like they said, you know, when he's going and he cannot let out something, that's when to be worried, that's when to call them. And he's like showing all the signs that he did that one day that he was like in a ton of pain, you know. crying, like so sad, that's when we call them. So he's not, like, he's still super in a good mood whenever we do approach him, asking for pets. He's even cuddling with us at night, like, and I think that's a good sign, because literally he hasn't done that since last winter, cuddled with us. And it's been cold for like a little bit, but like literally the second he came back home, he was cuddling back up with us at night. And I was just like, oh, my little boy, finally starting to feel better. Oh, you know, still just barely running around. So I think I'll just leave the food out. I'm about to leave. When he wants to come get it, he'll get it. I'm gonna be gone for a bit, and it'll be a few hours until Christy gets home. So I'm just worried. Hi, Bailey. Do you want your food? I got it right here. Here, I'll put it over here. There you go. That's for you. She'll go over there and eat it there while I put everything away. So yeah, I think he's doing better, because ever since I've like been giving him a whole bunch of food, it does feel like he's, you know, doing pretty good. I am keeping a good eye on him. He is still using the litter box like quite a bit. I think he might just be like healing from like the, I don't know why I was about to say epidural. No, the catheter. There you go. I got mom brain. I'm thinking about my birth, you know, that was the last time I went to the hospital. No, from the catheter and being in the hospital for a couple of days, like he didn't poop that whole time, he didn't eat that whole time, that he was there, and it literally shattered my heart to know that my little boy was not eating. And he's a piggy. He will eat whatever, whenever you give it to him, he'll eat whatever. And so hearing that he wasn't eating while he was in the hospital made me so sad. Like, oh, my little boy. But I got his wet food. I'll put it up here. Yeah, that's the update on how he's doing. Every time I check in on him, he's purring, he's showing us his belly. He's in such a good mood. I love that for him. From the paperwork that the vet sent us, they gave us this whole pamphlet. Look at this. Look, it's so many pages front to back with all this information. Oh, and the back page is our receipt from his hospital stay. But yeah, all these pages are like what to look out for, and then I think in the back is like photos of the surgery, you know, that we could decide to do, and the surgery that does make him a lady as well. I think we won't need to do surgery. I really just want to give him a rest right now, just because he was so stressed out at the hospital that I don't want to like send him back and have him do surgery and put all that stress on him again, just to ease our minds for a little bit. Like, okay, as long as he's still eating, he's eating a whole bunch, and dissolving those crystals, I think we're good for now. And then down the road we can decide if we want to give him the surgery and to dissolve those crystals. Hi, Bailey. As of right now, we're just like giving coffee the new food. It's like the specific type for, I think it says bladder. No, it says urinary. So this is the food that the vet recommended or said that we had to get, and basically sent us home with like 2 whole boxes, crates full of this food. So this is supposed to help dissolve his crystals. So if he eats a bunch of this, it should have enough water in it for him to pee it out. Okay, now Bailey's eating the food. But honestly, it looks pretty similar to all the other kinds of food. I have no idea. They gave us a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch. And if they said it will help him, then I will give it to him. But yeah, so that's how Coffee's doing. Hopefully he'll be doing better. And he does get pain meds. They gave me these little pain reliever. I just squirt this in his mouth, you know, over by his gums. And it's supposed to help relieve his pain. So twice a day I give him, I'm trying not to show you the label, pain reliever for him. But yeah, that's how he's doing, and I'm gonna go and drink this coffee and hang out with my baby and make some cookies at my parents' house.